Okay, so again, thank you so much, everybody, for making the time to come and be with us. Basically, the reason why we are here today is to just take you through what ETV is doing, eMedia as a whole, but more specifically ETV, and focusing also on eVOD and all the content that we are trying to create and put out there for you guys. We just want to take you through that and share something with you about what it is that we're doing. So before we get into the discussions of the day, we're going to play you a trailer right now that is basically going to take you through the kind of content that you're going to find when you go onto our streaming platform, which is eVOD.
Sometimes, in the name of love, you have to do what you have to do. I stand here before you, guilty as charged.
Kom saam asseblief, sê tog ja.
Makana wana didinga ya uroziki ngiribole ku crime scene habedi. That's why here to tshwaro me bra.
It's the Guma, it's Auntie V, it's the minstrels. All down the drain.
Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So basically, about 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, right? It's 3 years ago, around the month of August, actually. eMedia decided to embark on this venture of creating an online streaming platform for people to be able to get content. We obviously all know we've got the Netflixes of this world, we've got all the others, and we decided to kind of extend what we are already doing in terms of local content and very much South African based content that we are doing, extend it onto online streaming because that's where everybody's going right now. And so we decided to create eVOD. And eVOD, since August, 3 years later, we are still going strong. We've had movies, we've had drama series, we've had some of our daily dramas that you see on the linear channel ETV. They also get played on eVOD. And we've just kind of extended the content that we have so that people can be able to access it more frequently, more easier, and just be able to see more of what we can do. And that's what you've seen there. We're going to show you some of the movies that we've done. We're going to show you some of the drama series that we've done, and we've been quite successful. And in terms of the genres that we've chosen, we do action comedies, we've done drama, serious drama, we've done Afrikaans content as well. You will see that I think the very first movie that launched with eVOD was Atlantis, which was an Afrikaans movie shot in Atlantis. And that was something new that we tried to do, but it worked. And it continues to work for us. So we delve into Afrikaans content as well, and we do that not just in the movies, but we've got Afrikaans dramas that we would look at doing, and it's just another avenue for people to be able to access content, local South African content. And that is what our focus is, and that's what our passion is. And so that's how eVOD started. 3 years later, we are still going strong. The numbers are growing, it's looking good. And I would like to encourage all of you to please go onto your internet and look for it, eVOD, and subscribe and watch our content. Okay. Moving on to.
It's free, by the way.
Go ahead.
It's free.
It's free.
Yes, very accessible.
So I'd also just now what we'd like to do is just show you some of the drama series that we've done. Then we're gonna get into more of the content of what we have on our platform.
This is a woman, let's toast to Linda! You're well rested from Sadian and their mysterious nightlife.
Loretta Matabula, we have a lot to discuss.
I'm going to legalize wheat farming for commercial business. Saifuna la fam.
Breaking news this hour, East London businessman Vuyelwa has been accused of rape. The alleged victim is Vuyelwa Mawana.
I'm gay. My dad was to marry you.
Okay. Thank you. So what you've just seen now is some of the dramas that we have. I'll take you through some of them. We had, what we did was we went into, we decided to do 26 episodes. And first of all, we started with 45 minutes, but then we decided to change it to 23 minutes. But we have drama series that we do, or series that we do on eVOD. Right now, you would have seen Phoenix, you would have seen Umbali, and you would have seen Stoat. And we kind of tend to explore different genres, right? So Stoat is a youth-based drama series based on children that are young kids that are in a Stoat school, if I can call it that. And whatever it is, the life experiences that they go through while they are being there. And then we had Phoenix, which was also more of your kind of action-based thriller, suspense kind of situation, which was female-led. And we did that on purpose because, as I said, we explore different genres. So we go from doing female-led dramas to then exploring male-led dramas, and then we did the youth experience as well, so that we can kind of appeal to most of who we already know our audience is. And that's what Phoenix does, that's what Stoat does, that's what Umbali did as well. And we found that these dramas kind of really appealed to people because what we then did was take them from eVOD and move them onto our linear channel. You might have noticed, those of you that do watch ETV might have noticed that we've got our series that was playing there, we've got now playing on at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. So that's generally what we try and do is appeal to the different genres and focus on different elements of what works in entertainment. And so we've done the female-led, we've done the male-led, we've done action comedy, we've done all of those things. And they seem to have worked for us, I think.
Yeah, I did.
I'd like to hand over to the team if they want to add on to the series and why we decided to do drama series.
Drama series.
I think with our dramas, it's always been the idea of like how do we push the envelope while still speaking to our base? Because unlike your other streamers, we're very focused on the LSM 527. We're very clear on who our base is. It's the guys in the township. It's the guys in the lower middle class income homes. Those are our people. Those are the people who watch ETV, and those are the people that we want on eVOD. And what we've done is that we haven't tried to reject the stuff too much. Where you're like, okay, now that because we're on eVOD, we're going too aspirational. We're not going way too aspirational. We're still the relatability of it has still been core. That whenever you watch our content, you should feel like you're seeing yourself, or you're seeing your values being interrogated, or you're seeing some of your dreams and aspirations as a LSM group being realized for you.
And
Anybody else want to add?
if I could add,
Yes.
it's just the fact that besides eVOD and the rest of the channels, we do have eExtra, which has a different LSM again. It's got a higher end LSM, and we also focus and hone into that, and I think that transfers into that. So, and the thing that I like about our channels is the fact that we really hone into what our viewers want. We really investigate, we really go out and search and research what they want, and we cater for that, and we make the changes, as quickly as possible, I think, that we can. So it's really about the inclusivity. It's about making our viewer feel like they are part of the family. You are the most important person out there. Yeah.
I think the most important thing for us also in talking about the importance of story, language, and the cultures that we have already in South Africa. We are so diverse. We've got 11 official languages, so there's a lot to cover, But we try and, as Tabang said, be relatable.
Yeah.
So that when you are watching ETV, you feel like we are telling your stories. There's room there for everybody to feel like they are catered for.
Yeah.
There is room there for the people that live in Soweto to be like, I can relate to that.
relate to that, yeah.
There's room there for the people that live in Mpumalanga to feel like they can relate to that. There's in terms of the languages that we speak also, in the different shows that we have, they are quite diverse in language, and we do that on purpose because we want to relate to South Africans in general. And we want ETV to feel like this is your home. We want eVOD to feel like this is your home. If you look at the movies that we have on eVOD, all of them are different. We've got Afrikaans movies there that have done so well. We've got movies like, Konja, what was that? Gereza, right? We've got Gereza. Gereza is like totally township. And there's people that can relate to that. We've got Atlantis, we've got Yolanda Swanger, and we try and cater to the South African public in general. Because we know that we are a diverse people, and we are diverse in terms of our culture, and what we want to do is entertain you on every level.
Yeah.
And so that's what we endeavor to do.
Yeah.
So now I would like to, unless you guys want to say something? Are you good? Okay, let's move on to the movies. We'd like to show you the movies that we do. So as I said, we do 90-minute feature films. We've had quite a few. We started with a movie in Atlantis in August when we launched. We've done a lot of movies since then in all different kinds of languages. As I mentioned, Yolanda Swanger. We've got Umbrella Men. We did Umbrella Men 1. We did Umbrella Men 2. We did Clip Anchor Bay.
Which did very well.
Go ahead.
No. I'm just saying I'm adding to your to your list as well. Yeah. That's
So we've done a number of diverse movies, and we'd like to take you through the clip of the movies that we've done.
Just to add on that, in these 3 years that we started with eVOD, we've already produced like 24 movies, and I think 7 drama series. So already, like, I think we've done quite a lot for the 3 years that we've started as a eVOD platform.
Can I talk about us? Oh yeah, they're showing that. Then I'll talk about the Azani. Not Azani, but I'll just
Mas you instructed me not to lose sight of the package until it's delivered.
Follow my instructions in the package and we might just...
Where's my Tupperware?
No, we just got here.
What kind of trouble?
The worst kind, Bobby. The homies.
You coming with us, Auntie?
What's with that one?
So as I mentioned, we definitely endeavor to do different genres. We are very open to allowing producers to have the creative space to bring forth content to us that is maybe not necessarily something that's been seen before, but we are brave like that.
Just to add, like when we first started, since we're a commercial station, we were trying to get like the highest numbers of eyes that we can get. And as we all know, most of us grew up with Friday action nights on ETV. So that was our first base. Our first slate was like all the action movies. So you can see like there's a lot of guns and stuff. So we did that and we're like, okay, the action movies are working quite nicely. And then what else can we branch into? What's popular and very commercial? And I think that's very key. Popular and commercial. We're not doing art house. We're not doing small personal stories because we're trying to get a wide pool of people. So we went from action movies, and then we did rom-coms, and then from rom-coms we started doing like dramas, like serious tearjerkers, and then we mixed it up with comedy and action comedy. And we've discovered that with our base, action comedy, and straight up comedy does very well.
Does very well.
Yeah.
I agree.
Do I talk about
I
the
mean,
training? Do I
go
talk
ahead.
about the training and stuff?
Say again?
The incubator project, do I say that? The
We'll
upskilling?
come to that
Yeah,
just
we'll
now.
get just-
Archie, what do you think was your experience in terms of branching into things like Yolanda Swanger? What did you think about that? That was a
Very
drama,
interesting. It was
tearjerker kind of
very,
thing, right?
very interesting because, like you said, our first slate was all action movies. So having to move to a different genre. Also, you know, movie making, the language is very universal. You don't have to really know Afrikaans. Like I worked on Yolanda Swanger, but I could get everything about the movie. I got the plot, I got the first, second, and last act. And it was great working on it, you know, and black producers producing Afrikaans
content,
you know,
yeah.
It was very interesting. But I mean, as a country, we've been like that, you know. You've had your Robertas producing content for black people and whatnot. So it's not about your background and who you come from and whatnot. So yeah, it was great working on Yolanda Swanger.
And we also have some of the actors that have been in our movies. You might have seen them.
Some of them.
Brendan, I'm
and
calling you
Lavisa.
out.
Yeah, so he's just not the actor. He's actually one of the executive producer.
She's also here.
Let me call also
And
Luverson,
Luverson.
one of the film Neelan and Kevin.
Please come up, guys.
Wait, can I just say, I think what eVOD did also is that it gave first-time producers a chance, you know.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of producers that are here who I worked with that are first-time producers, and man, we produce such amazing films with them and amazing drama series. So this platform is actually, it's good because it's also giving the new producers a chance to produce for this platform.
Cool, you want me to add to that? Hi, good morning, everybody. As you can hear, the voice is gone.
Last night.
Last night was a good night.
guys, by the way.
But my friend, he
Evolve
was the
made
voice of
his
reason
fault.
in the room, and he took me home at a decent hour. Yeah, Leverson and I, because yeah, I love the industry. I love what it is that I do, but I also felt that there was another need for me to extend myself. I almost want to say it was involuntary. If I could continue acting and just do that, it would be cool. I just love showing up and doing that and go home, where the producing game is so all-encompassing and very intense. And they also asked me to keep this speech short. But what I
Very
want to
short.
say, yeah, is that just to affirm the fact that we did find a home with eVOD. And we found it because it was given us the opportunity, yes, as first-time producers, but also that thing about the diversity that is, and showing the worlds that we would love to show and the representation that we felt was needed. And they were welcoming and supportive, and to that extent that even as first-time producers, we're quite happy with the end result of our product, and we are proud to go and say, okay, cool, they gave us this home to put on these characters that are relatable because of the diversity of this country. Because our story is about two brothers who's got an Indian father and a colored mother. And even though we know it's a reality in this country, we seldom see that content and that representation. And that was our motivation and drive, and that will continue to be what it is that we come back to. Finding those characters that fully, or we try to aspire to fully represent what this country has to offer. And I think we're in a very healthy position because we got a lot to offer.
Yeah.
And what he forgot to mention was those brothers lose their mother's Tupperware.
Yeah.
The most relatable thing in South Africa. But also, this is the best team ever. They held our hand when it needed to be held, gave us the stern look of parents when we needed it, which was every couple of days. But they were just amazing to work with, and thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. So that's Neelan and Kevin, also to be found on eVOD. Please go on to our website, take a look at the movie. It's really, really fun to watch, and I think you'll enjoy it. And then we also did, yes. Then we also did last year for Christmas, we decided to verge on the rom-com side of things. And we had a beautiful movie that we showed called A Queens Lobola. A Queens Lobola.
Knowing Ashish, he also wants to say something.
Of course, I'm about to call him up now. I'm gonna let my colleague Dita talk about her journey with helping to executive produce A Queens Lobola. Go ahead.
Come up, Ashish.
And Ashish, while we're at it, please come up.
And Keith. Just going back to the emphasizing of new producers as well. I mean, it was such an amazing journey working with them because they were willing to learn, and with my line producing background, I was able to hold their hand, and we could make such a beautiful movie, which is winning a lot of awards. It's already launched. So yeah, I just want him to just explain what Queens Lobola is about.
Morning, everyone. Sorry, I didn't know I was going to be working today, so I'm just trying to calculate who do I invoice here for. Thank you very much. It's a very kind reception. I was told to keep it short, so our presentation is only going to be 45 minutes. Thank you. So, look, it really, truly, honestly was one of the best experiences that we've ever had. The one thing that we found working with everyone at E is they're very human, they are very kind, they are willing to teach, and every day was a joy. We really never had a bad day on set. I think it was rife with challenges, but because we had such a strong support system, it was really, really good. And at the end of the day, I think we just want to make good movies, man. So thank you guys. We encourage all of you to download the app. These guys are doing really good stuff in bridging the gap between good story and the business side of it, analytics. So even though there's other players in the game, you guys are doing great work. So thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashish.
Also, this is my friend and producing partner, Keith. We like Jay and Silent Bob. That's why I talk to both of us.
Thank you so much. So, guys, A Queens Lobola was our kind of festive movie that we we did it on purpose to put it around the Christmas time, you know, festive season, it's family time, and you want to have those kind of rom-coms or family kind of movies. And so we tried that for the first time with A Queens Lobola, and it's done well for us because as a channel and as eVOD, it did well in terms of the numbers and in terms of the viewers that were there, but also for the production, as they said, numerous awards that they've won for this movie. So again, it speaks to the diversity and it speaks to how we delve into different genres, and we'll go into subjects that people don't normally look at. And we're like, actually, why not talk about this? Why not have this kind of movie? You know what I mean? I mean, who has done a movie about an Indian, half colored Tupperware story? Nobody does that. But we decided to delve into that, and it worked, you know. And so another genre that we kind of delved into, speaking of the diversity of our languages and everything, is a movie called Clever-ish. Clever-ish, if I can put it in plain terms, Spitori. That's where you got that from. And I'm going to let my colleague Tabang speak more about that.
So I'm hijacking Tabang because she's also, I'm named Tabang, the producer was Tabang too. So Tabang, please come forward. Now, the cool thing about working with Tabang is that they were doing like, I Want to Sing Gospel and all these reality shows on SABC One and Mzansi Magic and stuff. And then they had like a very, very brilliant story around a young man who falls in love with the wrong girl from the wrong side of town in Pretoria. And the girl, and Tabang, talk about your story, talk about working with us, doing your first feature. And now she's running. She's now at Showmax. She's gone to Randburg. But we're happy for her. Yeah.
No, thank you so much, colleagues. And I think this is truly a testament of how ETV is investing in local content. This was our first feature, and we went to my hometown, Pretoria, which is really underserved in terms of content. So we're so grateful for that opportunity. It was a love story, a Kasi story, a geek who is trying to get back his baddie girlfriend and has to find another baddie in order to, change into the person who he thinks would want him. So we're so grateful for the story, for the diversity. It was fun. And really, it speaks about the courage that this broadcaster has in terms of opening doors and keeping the doors open for young producers and empowering them. So we're so grateful for the opportunity. And it was really lovely to partner with you on this journey. Please catch Clever-ish on eVOD.
Hey.
Thank you so much, Tabang, and thank you for the work that you did. So then we decide to segue into another new avenue, something different that we've never done before. We decided to start exploring Afrikaans content more, right? And we've done that on ETV Linear and eExtra, with shows like Die Faculteit, with shows like Omasari. We decided to explore. Then somebody who's absolutely crazy, I don't know who this person is, decided, okay, fine, let's do a daily drama in Afrikaans. Called Kelders van Geheime. I don't know whose crazy idea that was, but it happened. So we decided to delve into that, right? Because, like I said, we want to speak to the masses. We want to speak to the nation. We want to speak to South Africans. And so in delving into that, we have our eVOD movies also that were in Afrikaans that I've already mentioned. Then we decided to do something more crazier. I don't know was that your idea? That was
That was
you.
all of us, a group. But you-
No.
But you're the main
No, I
one.
decided.
Baba ka Bloedhoend.
I decided
Not
to,
that
to,
one.
be the stepfather.
Okay.
Yeah.
We embarked on a challenge of bringing to you guys an Afrikaans slasher horror movie in Afrikaans called
Guys.
Bloedhoend.
Woohoo.
He's the father of Bloedhoend.
Bloedhoend.
Yeah, that's something
Tell
else.
us about how that came about.
Just to add, it's launching on Halloween Day, so
Yes.
that's the theme
Please,
of the
guys.
And Archie is the executive producer for Bloedhoend. So can you please tell them how that came about and what Bloedhoend is about?
Yeah, we have crazy bosses, right? So
They're not here.
They're
I
not
hope
here. I didn't say anything.
You didn't say.
So we got the concept and we looked at it and we were like, okay, cool. Since we know our audience and where our audience live, you know, we have a huge base of Afrikaans audience on eVOD and also on what you call
ETV as extra.
yeah, Extra, Open
ETV,
View and ETV as well. So we thought, cool, why not do something different? So when we got the proposal, it's an Afrikaans horror slasher, you know, 5 students decide to go back on a journey, go and have a weekend away of just fun and whatnot. And they take, I don't want to say they take the wrong turn, you know,
Yes, yeah.
because they get led
They
into,
took the wrong turn.
you know, and things just go south. You know, they meet this family in Strange that's been living in isolation for 5 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, things go south. So I'm not sure if you want to play the trailer, so you know.
Yeah.
Yes, we're gonna play the trailer for you now.
And the producer,
Viewer discretion is advised.
Please.
It's a horror movie, guys.
Age restriction 25.
You can go ahead and play it. Thank you.
Dis ek Tristan hier so staan nader. Ek gaan een lakkie followertjies om saam met my in die Bus of Love al die pad fees toe te ry.
Meneer vir my hand toe.
Diesel.
Watch
Diesel.
back. Jy weet nie wat se monster hierdie
Diesel.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is our first Afrikaans slasher movie called Bloedhoend. It will be released on the 31st of October on Halloween Day, as Dita said. And yes, we did it deliberately because why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? And I think that's the great thing about ETV is and eMedia as a whole. Why not be innovative? Why not be the first ones to say, we don't know how this is going to work and we know we're taking a risk, but we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because we know who we are and we know what we love and we are you and you are us. So we do the things that you see there.
But we won't bring back Emmanuel, ne?
I'm just worried about that Liesel character. I hope she doesn't die.
Who wants Emmanuel to come back? We're going to bring Emmanuel, put it on eVOD.
Bring it back.
So generally, that's what we endeavor to do, is bring you guys your lives, your entertainment in a way that you understand it, and in a way that you can relate to, and in a way that speaks to you, in your language, whatever language that may be. And that's really what we endeavor to do. That's really what we endeavor to do. I'd like to open it up to my colleagues if they want to add anything else.
I think one of the things I would like to add is that we've as a channel, we've embraced genre television, like and even genre movies. But we do know that there's some stuff that we're still trying to sell the bosses on, and they're still not there. Like they're still not hip on sci-fi yet. They're still not hip on epic historical dramas. But thus far, they've been open with anything that has proven internationally and even locally that it works on a genre basis. So if you can see a gap in like all these genre stories that we're telling, like, hey, you haven't told a story about a kid in Pretoria who's a card spinner, or you haven't told a story of an Indian guy and his Indian colored half brother, or you haven't told a story of a dude who wants to marry this very hot girl, and you're told that you need to raise 100 cows for you to marry this hot girl. Then you can come to us, and we won't sit there and be like, hey man, we don't know you. Well, what's your pedigree? First and foremost, it's the story. If we feel like the story speaks to our base, trust you me, we will work with you. And we're not just saying this thing because, hey, we're working with our friends. Half of these people became our friends when we were working with them. And that's generally the vibe that I want to give to everybody there. I know how it is to be starting up and be like, hey, I don't know people, I don't know these Joburg folks. I'm gonna send my proposal, and I'm gonna read it. We're saying that, hey, trust us. We are you, like V says. We're very invested in growing the industry. We're very invested in opening up the industry. We're very invested in local language and local content. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I want to add to, because it's not movies, but I want to add to Kelders van Geheime, who took the chance to go outside and go and actually shoot a daily externally. I mean, with all of those factors, all these years we've been in a studio because it's safe and all of that, and we took that we took the chance, and I mean, it's beautiful, and I love it. And now other people are following the trends and going to farms as well and shooting there. But I love the fact that we're taking the opportunities. We took on the shows like Facultate and that we were unsure of, and people followed us. So let's keep on bringing the new stuff, guys, and make us the trendsetters. Bring your content. Yeah, like you were saying.
No, it's true.
Stuff, yeah.
I think my colleagues may agree with me in that a lot of the people that have come to our stand and wanted to engage with us and speak to us, it's also people that are like new producers, not necessarily your known production companies. And they're like, but I'm still starting out. I don't know, are you guys willing to give me a chance, or whatever the case may be? And you heard Brendan speak earlier. They were starting out, and they decided, let's branch into this, as much as they've been in the industry for as long as they have been, but they decided to branch into something new, which is producing. And they came to us as new producers. And I think, as what Tabang was saying also, is that we are open to working with people that give us good stories.
Good stories, yeah.
That's what it is. Whether you've got 15 years experience in the industry or 2 years, if you can come to us with a good story, and if you can prove to us that you have the capacity to make it happen, we are here to help you make that happen.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, the result is we put it on our channel, we show South Africans what they are capable of, and we celebrate what we can do.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Yeah. I mean, I think I wanna quickly also talk about the documentary cycle that we have. So once a year, we do a cycle of documentaries that we put out a CTA on our channel, and we invite people from smaller provinces that won't necessarily get a chance to produce their own content. They are filmmakers, but they don't necessarily have an actual production company, but they're filmmakers.
Yeah.
And they've got brilliant stories that they want to tell. They just don't know where to put them or where to send them. So we put out that call to entry, and we theme it every year. The first year that we all did it together, we called it Change Makers. And then the one for this year, we called Everyday South Africans. And it's generally just celebrating who we are, what we do, and how we do it. So we reach out to Free State Province, Northwest Province, Western Cape, Northern Cape, Mpumalanga, Eastern Cape, and we give them an opportunity to send their production, their documentaries through. And we got 8 amazing documentaries from Polokwane, from the Northern Cape, from Mpumalanga, from Eastern Cape. Where was yours, Liesel?
Mine was Eastern Cape.
In Kabeja, right?
In Kabeja, yeah, just outside of Kabeja, yeah.
So, I mean, who knew that there were people there that had stories? Who else had where was yours from?
It was Mdantsane, I think,
There
close
we go.
to, yeah, and it actually won an award, a SAFTA, for best cinematography. It was Siphiwe Rorwana. And I think Vuyelwa says it quite well, because you're opening up the industry for people who wouldn't necessarily have an opportunity to be a filmmaker, to have that opportunity to produce something from their hometown. So grassroots level all the way up. I mean, the sky's the limit with E.
Absolutely. And Archie, where did yours come from? You got 2 Polokwane ones, I think?
Yeah, 2 from Limpopo, yeah. I mean, when you see the reaction once the guys are done with their projects, it's they get shocked at what they can do. You know, I think also that having the background, because most of us here have worked in film, either as production managers, line producers, and whatnot before we joined ETV. And I think you and Tabang have a post-production experience and whatnot. So as a collective, we know our weaknesses and our strengths, and together we are able to help each other on all these projects. If I've got a problem or I'm not comfortable with a certain thing or a certain department or a certain whatever, it's easy for me to go to Tabang and say, Tabang, what do you think of this look and feel? What do you think of this and whatnot? If he's got maybe budget issues or he's not sure what the budget should, he can come to me to say, hey, what do you think about this? Do you think this would work? I think also having that background makes us a very, very strong and solid team, and that also helps us to help new upcoming producers, to say, cool, no, this won't work, this will work, try this, how about this and whatnot. So it is a journey. We do go with you on this journey, we don't just give you commission you and we let you run with the thingy, because at the end of the day, we want good product, and we also want to grow this industry, and we also want to give people, new people, a platform for them to grow themselves. So yeah, it's...
Just to add on that, I think the reason why we call ourselves executive producers is because we actually are involved. I mean, if you've worked with us, we're not just handing over the commission. We are involved from developing. Even if you come in with the script, we'll develop it together so that, because we understand our audience, we understand exactly what we want. But we are here. We are working. Your movie, your drama series, your documentary is mine as well. So we are working together, just to add on that.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes us, Dita's absolutely correct. I think that's what makes us stand out as eMedia and as an executive producer team for local programming, is that we are very hands-on. From, as she said, from your treatment, your very first treatment, we are there. We will walk with you. And we will work with you until the product ends up on our television screens. And we will make sure that it is the quality that it needs to be in order for it to be as successful as you want it to be as producers. So we really just, we are open to working with people, new producers, old producers. We are working with people that have been in the industry for 20 plus years. Scandal is still on air after 20 plus years. We're working well with Stan and Oka. We've got House of Zwite, which is with Bomb Productions. You know, we've got all these wonderful people. We work with Black Brain, and we also gave Final Chapter an opportunity to present their first telenovela, which is Smoke and Mirrors, which is still on air, which is still doing well right now. And we've got Kelders van Geheime with K Films, also a new production company that we're like, let's do this. Great story. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
If you have an amazing story and you feel like you have the capacity to make it work, this team that you see in front of you right now is who's going to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's who we are. And yeah, I'd like to open up if anybody has any questions, if you want to ask anything. There's a couple of hands. Don't ask embarrassing questions, please.
Hello, everyone. Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone. I hope you're well. My name is Julia Kamanga. Firstly, everything you said is so hopeful. Sorry about the feedback. Everything you have said is so hopeful. Like, I'm even more excited about eVOD. Even though I've heard about you guys for years, I'm like, oh my God. This is so exciting. And I think, thank you firstly for opening up the industry, because as a new filmmaker, I have been looking for a place where someone will actually give me a chance if I have a good story. So at least there are spaces like this open. And also your posters are amazing, by the way. Just want to put that out there. So the question I essentially have, anyone can answer. I know you said that you're willing to take risks, but obviously if they're genre specific and you're trying to have a relatability type of thing, I wanted to ask, I'm Malawian, but I'm South African, like I was born here. Would you ever be interested in a story where there's someone like me in the forefront if it works with your genre? Or is it more that they must be full-on South Africans, which is fine, I understand. It is a risk, but I'm always interested in finding out, would you guys be open to characters like that who aren't just like Zulu or Bedi or stuff like that? And also, may I ask, I mean, I know people don't really like talking about budget, but when it comes to your budgets, especially for films, is there a tier system with how it works, or is it according to what the story needs from us? Yeah, and again, thank you so much for this talk. It was so informative.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your question.
Okay. You know what? I'll be honest with you, ne? If you can tell the story, and you can tell a story that we know that the people that we're servicing, you can find an angle to tell your story and to still appeal to the people, we can do it. You know, it's all about the angle that you have, and then saying how do we get these guys into it, ne? And then with budgets, I'm gonna throw a bit of shade, ne? This is my shade. It's not ETV shade. Without giving you like actual numbers, my boss is next to me. Our movie budgets are bigger than Multi-Choice's budget for movies. I'm just saying that. That's the shade. That's the shade I want to give you. That's the shade I want to give you. Tebogo's not here, so he doesn't know. So, but it will also be project based. Based on your project, based on your story. Yeah. We have our own ballpark figure. We won't say it here because our bosses will kill us. But I've given you a slight idea, because I know some people think like, hey, we're doing bubblegum movies. Like, no, we're not doing bubblegum movies. It is feature films. It's at feature film budgets. We're not at Netflix budgets, but we're not at Renbeck budgets.
Right, we're not.
That's all.
Okay. There's a
Next question, please. Let's move away.
Hello, my name is Ross Van Leeuw.
hi.
I'm a professional screenwriter who has written 14 screenplays across different channels, and I'm excited to see that eVOD could potentially be a home for some of my stuff. So I'm going to ask the obvious question: how soon could we start pitching features to you?
All right, so let's get to the logistics of it all. We all know that businesses work on fiscals, right? Your financial year. We are nearing the end of our financial year, meaning that we are not necessarily in a position to commission stuff tomorrow, but we are always ready and open to hear what is out there, so that when we start our new financial year, we already have an idea of what is available to us, and then we use that also to focus, to build our strategy, right, for what we're going to do for the year. We have a website, we have a portal. You're more than welcome to submit your proposals there. If you've had an opportunity to meet with us, or you know us, there's people here that know us. And, you know, it's always, you can't put a timeline to the stuff. There's a timeline in when we can actually physically do it, because there's finances involved, and it's the business model that we have to follow. But in terms of if you have an idea, if you have stuff, when we are also specifically looking for stuff, we will reach out and we will put word out there. As I said, we do have a website, and so you will be able to submit your things, your proposals on our website, on our portal, so that we can take a look at it. We don't, right now, we're not looking for anything now, tomorrow, today, because we are approaching the end of our fiscal. But as soon as that happens, we literally need to start getting into it again. So it's a never-ending journey.
Yeah.
The wheel is constantly turning, meaning the door is always open.
Yeah.
In a nutshell.
And we'll come back to you.
Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, I think we're done.
You're not
Did we
talking
talk a
about
lot,
no,
guys?
that is not it. You're not talking about the
Huh?
productions, the upskilling of training.
The what?
Okay, just to add on to what was said earlier, that I think we should all be feeling proud about is the fact that we took on a project to train first-time writers, first-time, everyone, directors and all of that. And all of us here, sitting here once again, I think there's another colleague of ours, and we actually take the time to actually commission them and actually go through the phases with them as well. And I think some of them are coming on board. I mean, some of the movies has been done, but it will come along. So we're open to that all the time in terms of wanting to grow this industry. Although the landscape is changing, I think I'm very passionate about, linear and making TV, and I'm hoping that it will stay for a long time in South Africa. And I think the same passion that I came into the industry with, and with the same mentorship that I had, I think that's the type of thing I would like to give to a youngster coming in on board. So we're all here for one another and helping one another. So yeah. Thank you.
All right. Okay, guys, so basically, this is your introduction to who eMedia is. And we hope that you have learned some information that you may not have known about us. And you've seen the stuff that we've already given to you. And you've seen some of the stuff that is coming up for you. And we've spoken also about what is already there for you to enjoy. Please do visit eVOD, our online streaming platform. And there's a lot of amazing and beautiful entertainment there for you. And please do tune in to eTV. We have 6 amazing daily dramas to entertain you from 6 o'clock right up until 10 o'clock.
Yep.
With some news in between.
Yeah.
8 o'clock is the news bulletin. But other than that, you get to see all sorts of different stories in all different languages from all different places. We're going to take you to a wine farm in the Western Cape. And then we're going to take you to Tembisa and Rosebank. And then we're going to take you to Newtown with Scandal. And then we're going to take you to, we're going to take you to Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
And to a town called Emnyameni. And then we're going to take you to
Turkey.
Mpumalanga again.
And on other channels.
Where's Isita?
Isita
It's
is
in Nelspruit. We're going to take you to Nelspruit. We've got all of that. Yes, sir. Pardon?
Do we do slates?
Slate.
Slate. No, not necessarily. It depends. But not at the moment. No. I think it will. It's a discussion that can be had. We're not necessarily doing that right now, but should that opportunity present itself, and I think it would be probably more so with movies that we would put on eVOD. Then we can do talk about a trilogy or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one.
How? Now there's questions. I was closing this thing.
Two.
Thank you for the presentation, guys. My name is Tabelo. I'm here with my good friend Tabelo, and thank you for allowing us to also share our story with you. I just have one question. In terms of, with eVOD, of course, that's where you're kind of, finding talent and then kind of put them on that platform. Is your telenovela slate, is that kind of fixed in stone, or if there's ever, or if you ever find a brilliant story that you think can be then created into a telenovela, would it have a place in your linear bouquet?
On the linear channel.
Yes.
That's your question.
I was trying to possibly- Look, obviously with telenovelas, it's a long-running thing, right? It's long-running in that when we commission, well, we actually call them daily dramas. When we commission it as 260 episodes. 260 episodes is going to take you through 12 months. So you already know that's a year. And then kind of either 6 to 8 months into it, being on air, discussions will then be had about how is this show doing, are we continuing with it, or is it over, or whatever the case may be, right? And then if it's working, naturally what you would want to do as a channel, as a business, is continue with it. You give it another season, that's another 260 episodes, that's another 12 months. So the telenovelas are difficult because once we start with one, it becomes a long-term situation, right? And whenever you commit to one, that's a year gone. So the ones that we already have, and we have 6 at the moment, are literally within their year. And then whenever the time comes, conversations will be had about whether it continues for the next year or not. But it will always be on an annual basis. So that's why it's so difficult, because once you have one and it works, you want to hold on to it naturally, which means there's not really going to be space for anything else. Because also think about it, as a channel, we have time slots that we need to fill with all sorts of things. So when you've filled your daily drama time slots, then you've got to find other smaller projects that you can fill those time slots with. So once those time slots are filled for the daily dramas, that's pretty much it. Unless something happens and then it's like, hey, this one isn't working, we need to find something new. And when that happens, which it does and it has, then we will reach out to producers, new and old and whatever, to say, guys, we've got a time slot, we are looking for this, what do you have? Send us what you have. And then they'll send us what they have, and then we'll see. And that's generally how it works with dailies.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Kurt. I'm very good at pissing the right people off. So, you're... this is not you. Kudos for what you are doing and
Thank
plan
you.
to do.
Thank you.
I want to implore your skills, if you have them, of hijacking. I don't know how many people here can hijack, but if you can, on our behalf, hijack the budget from the dubbing department, that would be amazing. And you can take that money and make those small local time slot things that you just mentioned, because the other budgets are allocated. Fill those empty slots with the money being poured into dubbing. Some of us here have lived through that period in a previous life, and it was kak. For those of us who didn't relate to what was going on, because it was coming from all over the world, picture-wise, and coming to us in a language that not all of us spoke. So if you want to hijack, or if you can, please hijack the budget from the dubbing department. Inshallah.
Noted. Thank you.
But
I think on that note, sorry. Do you
No.
wanna?
I was, unfortunately, our viewers love them. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was about to
I was saying, like, as I know, like we. Yes, we do. I understand that, and there's space, I think, for that as well. But we do need to cater for those people on the other end of the spectrum that love to go to Turkey and see what those people and escape to a different world as well. So yeah, it's about balancing it. But we're getting there. We are looking at the local market. First priority.
And on that note, I want to thank each and every single one of you for taking time out of your very busy schedules in this market to come and spend time with us and find out about what we're doing. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you wanting to know more about us. As I said, please do visit eVOD. Check out ETV. We've got amazing daily dramas. We've got amazing drama series. We've got amazing movies. Please check us out. I promise you, we will keep you entertained. Keep it local with E. Thank you